We're still looking at the section on influences on human resource management, but so far we've been looking at the current legal framework. We're going to move beyond that and we're going to look at some other influences. So we're going to start with economic influences, which is what this video is about. We're then going to move on to technological influences, which is all the way through the syllabus. We need to look at social influences as always, like changing work patterns and living standards, changing living standards, increasing living standards. And then we're going to look at ethics and corporate social responsibility at the end, because it doesn't matter. So we're going to look at all these different influences, starting with economic. Now, when the economy is going bad, that's the really simple way of saying it. The fancy way of saying when there is weak economic growth or when there is a recession, a few things are going to happen that will affect the wages and conditions. So looking from left to right, as the economy goes down, the demand level is going to go down, so demand for products is going to go down, which is going to lead to a decrease in production, because why make it if people aren't going to buy it? And then that is going to lead to a decrease in the amount of labor needed, so that's another thing that's going to happen. But that's going to increase the level of unemployment in the economy, right? Now, right at the end, the very last stage of this little progression, you've got the down in wages and conditions. So a decrease in wages and poorer working conditions. Why do I have that as green? Well, the reason that it's green is because it's good for business owners, right? It lowers the cost for the business owners. And you need to remember, as you're writing all your answers in your HSC exam for business studies, that you're looking at the perspective, or from the perspective, of a business owner, rather than the business worker. So don't just say, an increase in wages is great, because if you're a business owner, you don't want wages to increase, because wages are coming out of your pocket, not going into your pocket. So those things are good for business owners. Those are going to lower costs for the business. And labor usually makes up about 60% of, especially probably more in the service industry, 60% of the business's costs. So you kind of, even though all those other bad things are going to happen, even though the level of demand is going to go down, you're going to sell less products and all that, you kind of want working conditions to get worse, and you want wages to get worse across the entire economy, because that's a cost for you, right? So when unemployment is high, it means that the workers are not going to come up to you and say, hey, look, can I have a big pay rise, please, and some great new conditions and a company car? They're not going to do that, because they're going to be scared of losing their jobs, like their neighbors on both sides. They've lost their jobs. So they're not going to come up to you and ask for a pay rise. They're not going to ask for better conditions, because they're going to know that there's plenty of other workers that are unemployed that could take their job, right? So that's good for the business owners. The opposite of that, when the economy is going well, when there's strong economic growth, there's going to be an increase in demand, an increase in production, more labor needed. It's going to decrease unemployment. But at the end there, for your business, it's going to increase wages, and it's going to mean that your employees are going to ask for better conditions. Why? Because they know that, if unemployment's at, 4.5%, they know that you're probably not going to fire them, because you're not going to be able to find someone else so easily. So they're going to argue that they should get better wages and conditions. So that's bad for business owners, because it's going to lead to higher costs, right? So those things are going to happen, or will probably happen, when the economy is going well or when the economy is going badly. You kind of want, as a business, you kind of want the economy to go bad, except for whatever your customers buy. So if you're, say, in the liquor industry or something like that, that when the economy goes bad, that you're not going to lose sales, because people just keep drinking all the way through a recession. Same thing goes with like McDonald's. People are going to keep eating McDonald's. They're going to eat more McDonald's during a recession. So you want that kind of thing to happen. You want to keep being able to sell your product, but you don't want the pesky, workers asking for better wages and conditions. You want them to know that unemployment is at 8% and that you can fire them and just replace them at any point. Right? So that's the nasty reality of, the economic influences on your business.